introducing a client of mine, Tuhina, Quality Risk and Compliance Manager at SydWest Multicultural Services, who conducted a leadership program with me to build a high-performing team. So first question, Tuhina, before working together, what was the biggest challenge as a leader?
Thanks, Vanessa, for giving me this opportunity. I believe the biggest challenge for me as a leader at that time when we started the program, before the program, was to establish a team which was newly formed with two members in my team, two diverse personality, and it was the first time I was going ahead from an individual contributor to a team. So the biggest challenge for me at that time, let go of the work, give accountability, and have trust within my team about their deliverables. And I think it was out of my personality, my basic way of working is that I'm a perfectionist. So was used to doing things in a certain way. Even the deliverables were being performed, then I had my ways of working it, reviewing it, and then there were series of drafts with one of the team member in my team. I could see some changes in her personality also since the time of onboarding before going through the program. There was something which was not working very well between me and that team member. Um, and I was a bit confused and looking in for a correct direction as to how I can figure out and make some ways to work it between us in a cordial way as a manager and a team member. Meanwhile, there was another team member who onboarded who was completely different and diverse and very much different to the existing team member. Very capable, confident. So, although coming up of that new member, although in a small period of time, had laid some difference within the team, however, I was looking in for some right direction, approach, and a strategy about how I should be building up a team in an environment which is cohesive, inclusive, and people have their accountability still within the team.
Great insights there. So, what shifted for you the most during the Rewire for Success leadership program? The moment where you realized that aha moment, this is actually working for me.
Yeah, I think the change and the wording around the 1% difference is something which is the most impactful thing and the aha moment for me at that time. The only thought of having in and the confidence of having it that it does not have to be perfect in one go. I can go ahead and it should still go ahead and keep on working and should not just be hopeful about, no, this has to be done in this certain way to achieve it. As part of my role under quality risk and compliance, which is a key area, especially within our industry standards, there are tight time frames, obligations, and then we have to be very mindful about the wordings and the reports which are being provided. And hence, by default, obligations, and then we have to be very mindful about the wordings and the reports which are being provided. And hence, by default, it is the nature of me as that manager role, that everything should go in as perfect at one go. We don't have any scope of making mistakes. However, within the program, the approach of having and then letting it go and having them a go as team is something which is the key learning for me, and it has worked in because they might make mistakes in one or two, and then internally some reports could be in where I can let it go, and then slowly we will develop that rapport, and the team members also develop that confidence as to what they were working on. They even went ahead through some trainings which they identified themselves to go ahead and then provide their deliverables. So I think that is something which is very important for me to as a key learning from this program.
How about celebrating the wins? How important has that been for your team?
Oh, definitely. It has played a very, very big role. Before we started with the team, I don't think, and I don't believe, I don't even recall we have gone out for any sort of celebrations. Yes, verbal acknowledgements were given to the team member. However, thanks to you, Vanessa, when you suggested me to go ahead with some dinner outs, lunch outs, and give even simple things as giving them some cards with a handwritten message as to how we are working as a team has been very helpful. At one stage, one of the team member was away for a good break, and then she returned to work, and we made a whole big deal out of it. It was a 1 year anniversary, so we put some flowers and cards, and believe me, the trend continued because while I was away on a leave, other team members' birthday was there, and they both played it around themselves for each other. So we have now established a trend where we take care of each other's, even their personal moments, such as birthdays are being celebrated, and we have now made it a ritual that we go out at least once a month together as a team. So we have gone out for 2 or 3 outings, especially around Christmas time when we could make some time. But otherwise, we have blocked our calendars that we will be now doing it more often. So small celebrations, but then this brings positivity within the team members. They feel motivated, and they are looking forward to it.
And what outcomes have you seen both for yourself and your team members? What did you notice the most?
Um, I'll start with the team members first. So I have been working with that team member nearly 8 months before I started the program. Initial 3 months is how you are learning about each other, and then three months unfortunately was a very critical period for the organization. Me and herself both were going through a very challenging period on the work front. So I could see the tension and the stress between her and me, also within her personality. She's a very chirpy, and she is more aged as compared to me, and was a very chirpy personality. I could see that decline happening while we were working
Hmm.
together. However, when we started with the program and I started changing the approach with that aha moment, which when it occurred, I can see a huge difference. It could also be because of the third person coming in. That has also laid a huge impact. There is another person. So we have three people now. She has someone to talk through very close by. But various small areas such as the confidence level of that team member have increased, and she has got back to the way she was, back to the chirpiness, back to the smiles and the casual chit chat and talks here and there, rather than just coming back to the work and then sitting on your seat and then working through in that team member. With the other team member, she was very new while we started the program. She's really completing her 6 months now, which is like 3 months in mid of the program. Um, she had a good established start off because of my learning, because from my learnings from the first experience in the team member, I could actually implement all those learnings which were creating those stressful situations, and then I avoided that. So we right from the beginning, I was able to have a good rapport with her from my previous learnings because of those insights from the program.
And what else have you observed? I remember you telling me something about even the way that they walk down the hall now. How can you describe that?
Yes, it's not only me, it's the other people from other teams who have observed the great changes within that particular team member who was just coming in and walking to the work, and then the way she was walking with the confidence, which she has lost at some stage, maybe. She recovered over it, and then she was very confident. She's now also leading various meetings. She avoided to talk through, but she do talk over those meetings. I could hear the feedback from other team members saying that we can see she is completely changed. Although the person also mentioned this to me, that you have completely changed now the way you were working, and I like the new you. So definitely there were certain changes between her and me, and the rapport is much more better. Believe me, she is presently on annual leave, and I was missing her at work.
Oh.
So that is a for the first time in a year that when I came in, oh, where is she and when is she coming? Sort of the exclamation coming up.
And what about yourself? What are the changes you've seen in yourself? And you mentioned just then about colleagues even
Yeah,
saying they like the new version
yeah,
of you.
yeah.
What have you noticed for you both at work and
Yeah.
personally?
Yeah, I would mention that the program has impacted me both personally and professionally. I am, as I mentioned, I've always believed in doing certain things in a certain manner. And if I was not able to do it, then I used to feel paranoid and anxious. And then I was stressed out. And then, of course, it could lay some ripple effect on colleagues at work and family at first personal level. However, I learned that I don't have to achieve everything all together in one go in a perfect manner. Even the one person could make a change. I also took the program's inputs as stacking up the habits, which could help me work on myself. Even small things like taking a well-deserved break of 15 minutes and going out for a walk or listening to music in the morning, which could uplift my mood and distract me from the work, or finishing the work on time at 2:30, which I was just exceeding, and then giving that time myself to allow to have a switch between family commitments and work commitment is also something which I have learned and I am still implementing in my daily routine. There was a side where, because I work part time, I was over stressing on my work, stretching over my work hours, and then still following up and checking up my emails post work. So I was not giving 100% to my family, and that guilt was coming up. Um, to avoid that, and I did some small certain changes, such as switching off the work within the work hours, and on personal front also I started picking up, like, once I had that bandwidth to enjoy myself, I could also take some time to learn and focus on certain new things which I have never done before. So even certain things at work, okay, this is a new program, let me learn about it, because now I have that bandwidth, because I have now delivered and I feel trust on my team members that they can deal with it. So these were certain changes which has gone through after the program and are presently also helping me to have a balance between work and personal life.
That is amazing. So well done to you. That is a huge learning curve that you've gone from, say, mid last year to now,
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year. Now, I believe you just came back from leave.
Yeah.
So what did you experience with your team? Like, did you pick up from where you were because you had a rhythm going? And what was that like for you? Could you let go on your holiday and actually enjoy your holiday and not think about work?
Yeah, this was the first holiday when I had two members working while I was away on the leave. So I have been working in the organization from 5 years. Whenever I used to return, I used to have a stack of email with a big to-do list, all on my own as an individual contributor. However, this time it was completely different. I was before going to my leave, I didn't had to do an assignment of the task that you will be doing these. They were capable enough because I let go and they decided what they have to do it. All we have is a whole year plan. The Although I did got the email stack as obvious, but then these were more of information because things were dealt with by my team while I was away. There were actions which they have taken, there were comms which they have done, and there were only few issues where they wanted some approvals were present in there, which is very different for me as an experience of working 5 years in an organization. So it was such a relief to have a team who's established, we have a rapport, and who knows what they should be doing in now.
Fantastic. So you came back from leave
Yeah,
and you didn't have the stress like you normally would,
yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
your team's happy.
Teams happy, they had no, and then even when I went with my manager and with the team individually, just on my day one of my return, there were no highlights, and both of them said, you enjoy your first day back after the work, which is a good thing to know when you are coming back from the leave. And then I could take you take your 2-3 days to review and read your emails, and then we can catch up. So what else do you need when you come back and then things are being dealt with?
That is fantastic. Woohoo!
Yeah,
A milestone.
yeah,
First time that that's happened for you. So that's amazing.
yeah,
So we want to keep that dopamine
yeah,
going, right? And continue that.
yeah.
Any advice you'd give to other people or people in your role in compliance and risk and quality? What advice would you give them going on this journey?
I believe the thing which worked for me the most is that believing that you don't have to get everything right at one time. Just believe in that 1% change, because even it could be simple thing as, I need to get this done, and then that big task keeps you daunting throughout the 8 hours of work, because it is a critical piece of document or a very important project where you have to work through. Don't take that load or stress on yourself. Give it a go, give it your best shot. Allocate some time for efficiency and then work through. It's okay if it is not getting 100% correct at one go, because the moment you start working on those approach and start building up that change, it becomes a pattern and a habit, where then you can rely and have that faith on other team members also, that they can also team work through, especially at workplace. It's not only you who's working. It's at some areas it is a shared responsibility, and then you have other peoples to have back on. You don't have to take that load all together and drain yourself mentally and emotionally. That's something which I would say to my team members of the quality team, because I know in our industry things are either black and white. There is no gray, and then you're always afraid. No, we have to do it in this certain particular manner. It's okay. There are ways. There is a little gray too, where we can work through. That's what my learning is.
So, do you believe you've built a high performing team?
Yes, I can confidently say that.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
And how does that feel?
Um, believe What I would say is that this is an organization where I've established the whole department myself, along with the softwares and the team. So I am proud of myself. Earlier, I used to say the small things like, I will be doing it. Now I don't feel that guilt, and I don't feel that need to be guilty for any certain things like that. And I can confidently say no. It's my hard work, and then it's my persistence and the approach which has led to this result, where now I have a team who's high performing.
That is fantastic. Congratulations
Yeah.
on your success.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I could make a difference in your life.